That's sometimes it can become very contagious, and you can get on a roll offensively, and that's what I'm hoping happens.
Do you think, big hit out of Soriano, Roberts obviously with the home run to get the go-ahead run there. Do you think guys are a little bit looser after a win like that?
The thing about this group is, I think they're a fairly loose group. I think you see frustration out of them more than anything else, and winning a game like last night obviously makes the clubhouse move a little bit better, and hopefully it'll continue.
Murphy in the lineup again with Nuno. Is that something you're going to continue to do, keep those two together?
I kind of have. We've seen so many left-handers that, if you're seeing a left-hander once a week, you kind of pick that day to give Mac off. But we're seeing a lot, so I just kind of chose to keep those two together.
McCann okay, though?
Oh, yeah, he's fine.
Joe, what's your view of Ryan Roberts' first 5 weeks here? I realize he's been hurt a little bit, but
I think he's played pretty well. I think he's probably been one of our unluckiest hitters. I think he's hit the ball a lot harder than his average has indicated. I think he's done a good job at second base. I think, like I said, his at-bats have been good, and he's a good presence.
You talk about your guys being frustrated. Do you think the fact that you have so many veterans, it helps? The frustration stops. They know that the next day they just kind of start over again.
I think they're able to come out with a fresh mind. But with the veterans that we have and the caliber of players that they have been, it's probably frustrating for them at times. But they know they've been through these type of slumps. They've been through, where teams haven't scored runs, then all of a sudden you explode and you don't know why it happens. Or a lot of times you don't know why you don't score runs for a few days. But I think these guys handle it well.
Ryan last night said that he was probably trying too hard to do well early on. Did you sense that at all from him?
Not really. And I think that can sometimes be a common theme that players that come over here, because of the expectations here and the tradition here and their excitement to be here and to try to win a championship. I think sometimes players get caught in that rut and take some time to get through that. I know it took me about 6 weeks personally, and then some guys adjust right away. But it's from an individual basis, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's more than one guy doing that in there.
What else he said, which was kind of interesting, is he said, you're coming in and you're replacing,
Right.
Robbie, who had done so well. I don't think most people consider him the replacement for Robinson Cano, but is that interesting to you that he's actually seeing himself that way?
Yeah, I can understand how he feels that, even though Robbie chose to leave. It wasn't like Robbie was traded and we replaced him with Brian. I think it's different then. But still, I think you feel that because people, and Robbie Cano came into town, and people are going to talk about Robbie Cano, and I think you feel that. But as I've said, when one player leaves, it's not always up to the one player who takes that spot to replace everything he does. Sometimes you build your team a little bit different.
Joe, were you surprised at what Mariano wrote about Cano in his book?
Those are Mariano's comments, and it's probably why I've chosen not to write books. I've had plenty of opportunities with some of my experiences, and right now I just don't think it'd be a good idea for me.
Joe, you talked about not really wanting to use Robertson for more than 3 outs. Is that the grunt issue, or is that just an overall?
No, it's just something that I feel more comfortable just using him for an inning right now. I don't think he has any physical problems, but it's just something I'm more comfortable doing.
Is that perhaps the way you go forward with him forever?
Yeah, no, not forever. As the season lengthens on a little bit, and if you have a day off the next day, it might be a little bit different. But I think you look at what you have and the schedule ahead of you, and you choose to use him for one inning most of the time. So that's what you do with most closers.
If that was
yesterday,
tonight,
it might have been a little bit different.
Kelly and Aceves unavailable?
I know Kelly is in my mind. I'll talk to Ace. I would lean not towards using Ace, but I will talk to him and see how he feels.
So you just said that's how it is with most closers. You didn't hesitate in the past using Robertson for 4 outs when he wasn't the closer.
Right.
Do you look at him and your usage of him differently now that he's in a different role?
Yeah, because it is the closer. a lot of times you can get more than 2 days in a row, and if he feels good, I'd like to use him the third day. And I don't, as much as you can, you try not to get caught without having your closer. But it's a long year, and it's still really early, and he had a couple weeks off, and I just got to make sure that he's built up right.
So much was made about him replacing Mo. What have you done with the job he's done so far?
He's done a good job. I think our guys have done a good job out there in bullpen, and I think Robbie's done a good job.
How do you feel about the next 12 games coming up against National League teams? The fact that historically this team has had a winning record in all but 2 years since they started.
Well, history really doesn't help you on Friday, in a sense. History is what you've done in the past. We're going in to play a team that's playing extremely well, Milwaukee. They're pitching extremely well. They're not giving up a lot of runs. And they're, I think they have the best record in baseball. So I don't know how much history is going to help us. But, playing the National League teams, it's different, especially when you go to their ballparks and your pitchers are expected to hit. And I know some of our guys are excited about that. I'm not so sure how excited I am about it. But it's different, and we look forward to it.
Schedule a little fairer to you that you don't have all the no DH days in a row?
Yeah, and I think the way they're doing whoever's considered your rival is not a bad idea. The 2 and 2, and for a lot of teams are in the same city those 4 days, and you're only without your DH 2 days, and I do like how it's working.
Joe, circle back on Brian one more time. Given that maybe the organization or you had expectations that weren't quite Cano by the number, but this was an elite second baseman for a period of time who did put up some huge numbers, doubles wise, even hit some home runs and things like that. You could understand why he maybe would consider it, even at 36, even coming off the injury years, replacing Robinson Cano. Still in his head.
Yeah. Oh no, I can understand that, and I think his production has been down last year because of injuries, not because I think that he's not capable if he plays a full year of putting up some really pretty good numbers. I'm not sure how many games he missed last year, 70 or something. And he had the hamstring, and this is a guy that's just had some tough injuries, had concussions, but I still think he can be a very good player.